In the summer of 2000, a small group of executives sat across a polished conference table and declined an offer that would later seem almost incomprehensible. The proposal in front of them was not expensive, not hostile, not even particularly threatening. It came from a young company that mailed DVDs in red envelopes and was losing money doing it. The numbers suggested patience, not panic. The future, as they understood it, still belonged to late fees and storefronts. Right now, somewhere in the world, a board of directors is approving a decision that looks perfectly rational. The numbers check out, the risks seem manageable, the analysts agree. 10 years later, that decision is cited as the moment everything began to unravel. This is the autopsy of one of those decisions. At the turn of the millennium, Blockbuster was a cultural fixture and a financial machine. More than 9,000 stores stretched across suburban highways and international markets. Annual revenue had climbed past $5 billion. On Friday nights, families moved through its blue and yellow aisles as predictably as traffic lights changing from red to green. Studio agreements were locked in. Cash flowed steadily, and a significant portion of it came from late fees that customers resented but reliably paid. The upstart across the table was Netflix, still known primarily for mailing DVDs. Its subscriber base was small. Its balance sheet was fragile. Its pitch was simple: let the larger company acquire it for $50 million and integrate the subscription model into the existing empire. From the perspective of the dominant retailer, the proposal carried little urgency. Physical stores generated billions. The subscription business appeared niche. Broadband penetration was limited. Streaming video at scale seemed distant. Declining the offer aligned with the incentives in front of leadership. Store expansion was predictable and measurable. Late fees produced high-margin revenue. Wall Street rewarded visible footprint and quarterly performance. The subscription model threatened to cannibalize a system that was working. Why dilute profitability for an experiment whose upside depended on infrastructure that barely existed? But the variables were shifting beneath the surface. DVD sales were accelerating. Internet speeds were quietly improving. Consumer frustration with late fees was not an abstraction. It was cumulative friction waiting for an alternative. The smaller company was not constrained by storefront leases or the economics of physical inventory. It was building systems around recurring subscriptions and data, not foot traffic. What appeared incremental was, in fact, directional. By 2007, the red envelopes were no longer the center of the story. Streaming moved from possibility to product. The subscription model scaled without the burden of retail square footage. Meanwhile, thousands of physical locations carried fixed costs that did not shrink with demand. Each store that once symbolized dominance became an anchor on the balance sheet. Revenue contracted. Debt tightened. Strategic pivots arrived, but each one required dismantling pieces of the very structure that had defined success. In 2010, Blockbuster filed for bankruptcy. Stores that had once opened at a pace of one every 17 hours were shuttered. The late fees that had buoyed margins were eliminated in an attempt to compete, erasing a core profit engine without restoring loyalty. What had looked stable proved inflexible. What had looked marginal proved adaptive. The $50 million decision was not the only cause, but it became the cleanest symbol of a larger miscalculation, protecting the present while the architecture of the future was being assembled elsewhere. Today, Netflix operates on a global scale, shaping how content is produced, distributed, and consumed. Its evolution was not guaranteed, and its path was not linear. But it was built on a model that aligned with where technology and consumer behavior were heading, not where they had been. The retailer that once dominated home entertainment had optimized for a world that was already receding. What company today is making the exact same mistake, clinging to the past while a competitor builds the future?